Good morning Year 3, welcome to your maths video for Tuesday the 2nd of February. Now this is a video for you if you've got the Year 3 maths booklet. So today we're going to be focusing our learning on page 17 in our booklet, but we're not going to be completing all 3 sections like usual. Today I'm only going to expect you to complete section A because there's one question on section A where we've got some new learning, okay, and I'm going to set you a task in your purple books to do and to complete to help you with that new learning. But before we get on to all of our tasks for today, let's get ourselves warmed up ready. So I've had a go this morning at writing out my 4 times tables. And I know I haven't got them right. I've made a few mistakes because I was rushing and I've not checked my work. But I thought you could become the teacher today and help me check my work. So I tried to write out my 4 times tables 3 times. I've tried to write them once in the blue box, once in the yellow and once in the pink. But each time I've got a couple multiples of the 4 times tables wrong, okay? I've wrote some numbers that don't belong in the 4 times table and I'd like to see if you can spot them, okay? So this is my first attempt, here is my second and here is my third, okay? Now before you have a go at correcting them, let's have a go at looking at our 4 times table together. So I've counted in my 4s and put a ring around the multiples of 4 because we're adding on 4 every time. So can you chant in your 4s with me? Remember, if you get lost, you can follow my multiples of 4 on the board behind me. Okay, so let's get our fingers ready. Remember, we have 11 times, and then for 12, because we've got to the end, you can do a little dance of your choice. I know when we're in our classroom, in our maths lessons year 3, we have some very good dance moves going on for when we get to 12 times 4. So are you ready? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Okay, right, turn your volume down then. Let's see if we can do it in our whisper voices. Are you ready? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Okay. Well done if you're joining in at home with me because that will help you for our warm-up challenge. So, you might want to pause the board now and get your purple book ready. So this is the first attempt I did. Can you write in your purple book which numbers I got wrong? Which numbers there are not multiples of 4? Then have a go at my second box, my yellow box. Can you write down maybe Miss Page's yellow box in your purple books and write down which numbers in that box are not multiples of 4 either. And then finally have a go with the third box. So pause the board now so you can complete that in your books. Okay, so once you've completed that, you may also want to get yourself onto TT Rockstars because we had lots of children practicing last week. We're seeing lots of names coming up who were always practicing, the children at home who were working really hard. And we had lots of children joining in our challenge on TT Rockstars last week, our battle. So this will help you with today's learning to get yourself warmed up with all of your times tables, not just the 4 times tables. Now, today's learning, we're going to be learning a new concept and then completing the rest of section A. So our learning question for today is, can I begin to use short multiplication and solve a range of number sentences involving measurement? So first of all, we're going to focus on short multiplication. Now, lots of you at home may already know what this is. You may have done it last year, but we haven't done it yet in year 3, and it will be new learning for a lot of us. So even if you know what short multiplication is, hopefully this can just give you a bit of a reminder and help you with today's learning. Because in section A of today's learning, on number 9, you've got the question, 19 times 4. Now that's a really big multiplication to do in our head. We don't know up to 19 times 4. So this is why we use the written method of short multiplication. So like your column addition and your column subtraction, we use those written methods when the numbers are too big to add or subtract in our head, okay? So for multiplications that are too big, like 24 multiplied by 5, we use the written method of short multiplication because we don't know up to 24 times 5. I mean, we could count in our 5s up to 24 times 5, but we'd be there a long time. So short multiplication makes it easier and makes our job a little bit quicker. So let's have a look at what short multiplication looks like. So here I've got my number 24. So I've wrote it out in my tens and my ones. Here we go. And I'm multiplying 24 by 5 ones. So I've put my 5 ones underneath the 4 ones, okay? Because there's only one digit in the number 5. So I've lined up my ones and lined up my tens. And you can see I am multiplying. And it looks a lot like column addition or column subtraction in how we lay it out. But remember, we are multiplying today. So we're going to be using our times tables. Now with short multiplication, just like column addition and column subtraction, where do we start at? Do you think we start with the ones or the tens? Or if you said the ones, well done. We start by multiplying the ones. So here's the number I'm multiplying by, and there is my ones column. So I'm going to do 5 times 4, okay? 5 times 4. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Now, before I put it in my answer, the number 20, that's got 2 digits, and we know we can't fit 2 digits in one box. So I need to find the ones in 20. A bit like column addition and subtraction. Oh, there I've got a 0 1, so I'm going to put my 0 ones there, and I'm going to exchange and carry my 2 tens underneath the tens column, okay? Right, I've multiplied the ones, so now I'm going to multiply my tens. So I'm multiplying by 5, so 5 times 2 tens. 5 times 2, well that's 5, 10, so that's 10 tens. But I've got these 2 tens to add. So 10, 11, 12 tens. So there's my 2. I'm going to exchange and carry to the hundreds, but I've got no hundreds to multiply. Or I've only got 100 here, so I'm going to cross it off, and my answer becomes 120. So we multiply the ones first, and then when we've popped our answer in, we multiply the tens, making sure we're adding any numbers that we've carried and exchanged, okay? Let's have a look at one then that hasn't yet been written in short multiplication. I've got 33 times 3. Now I know my 3 times table, but I'll be here all day counting up to 33 times 3, so I'm going to use short multiplication. So I'm going to write out my first number, 33, and I'm multiplying it by 3 ones. So I'm going to put that under the ones column. And just like before, which column do we start multiplying first, the tens or the ones? If you said the ones, well done. So I'm going to do 3 ones times 3 ones. So my 3 times table in my head now. 3, 6, 9. Put my 9 ones underneath. I've multiplied my ones, so I'm now going to multiply the tens. So I've got 3 times 3 tens. 3 times 3 we know is 9, so it will be 9 tens. I'm going to put that answer under the tens column. So I had no numbers that I was carrying that time, so I could just line them up. So my answer to 33 times 3 is 99. Multiply the ones, then multiply your tens. Right, let's try one more. 45 times 5. So I'm going to do 45. I've wrote my first number in. I'm multiplying it by 4. Okay, so I'm going to line that up under the ones column, and I've got my lines ready. So I'm going to start with the ones. I'm going to do 4 times 5. Oh, now we did 4 times 5 earlier. We know that's 20. So I'm going to pop my 0 in and carry my 2 tens to the tens column. I've multiplied my ones, so I'm going to multiply my tens. 4 times 4. Now they're 4 tens, but I can look at it as 4 times 4. So it's 4 times 4 tens. So 4, 8, 12, 16. That's 16 tens. But I've got 2 that I need to add on. So what's 16 add 2? 16, 17, 18. That's 18 tens. So I've added that on, I'll cross it off. 8, and I'm going to put my 100 over here because we know 18 tens is 180. Oh, I've got no hundreds left to multiply. Nothing to, just this 100 here. So I'm going to add it on, and my answer to 45 times 4 is 180. Okay? Now, if you've got your whiteboard with you and your whiteboard pen, or you haven't, just pause the video and go and grab it and get ready, because we can have a go at one together. Okay? Now, it's a bit different from being in school, but I know we've got fantastic listeners year 3, so let's have a little go. I've got 66 times 5. So get your whiteboard pen at the ready. How would I write this in short multiplication? Which number do I write first? And then where am I going to line up the number I'm multiplying by, number 5? Ooh, have a go, write it on your whiteboards. Right, I'm going to do it now. Let's see if you've got it right. So we write our first number first, 66. We're multiplying by 5. So I'm going to line it up under the ones column because that's 5 ones. Give me a thumbs up if you got that. Okay. So we start by multiplying the ones. So I've got 5 times 6. Now I know 5 times 6 is 30. I could count in my 5s. 30. So it's got 0 ones, carry my 3 tens to the tens column. I'm now going to multiply the tens. 5 times 6 tens. Now I've just done 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. So that's going to be 30 tens. But I've got these 3 to add on. 30, 31, 32, 33. So I'm going to cross that off. And it's 33 tens, so I'm going to exchange it and pop it under my hundreds column. I've got no hundreds to multiply and these 3 hundreds to add on. So I'm going to cross it off, and our answer, let's see if you got it too, is 330. Okay, so like I said today, we're only going to be completing section A, but before we get on to that, I would like you to get your purple book and grab a pencil, because I'd like you to have a go at completing some of these short multiplication questions. Okay, so it's the first time we've done it in year 3 so far, so if you're struggling a little bit, you might want to replay the video or ask an adult to help, but we're going to keep looking at short multiplication this week. Okay, so you'd write these in your purple book, then do your short multiplication underneath it or next to it. So line up your tens and ones, multiply the ones first, then multiply by the 10. Okay, I would like you to try and at least do up to question 8. But I know lots of you will really enjoy short multiplication and want to do up to question 10. So that's fine too. Okay, so you might want to pause the board now and complete this in your purple books. Then when you come back, we're going to have a look at completing just section A, and that is our work for today. Okay, so hopefully you have completed all of these in your purple books and you'll be sending lots of pictures in, okay? Don't worry if you struggled a little bit year 3, because we'll be revisiting this and doing it again when we come back to school. So the second part of our learning question today was to solve a range of number sentences involving measurement. Now, measurement, we know we're used to measure things, and there's different types of measurements. We've got capacity, where we're holding liquids, or we've got millilitres, litres. We've got currency that measures our money, so pounds and pence. Length, think of our rulers, centimetres, millimetres, a metre. We've got weight, we've got our weight bar, okay. We've got tons, kilograms, grams, milligrams for that measurement. And then time, we know we measure time in days, hours, minutes and seconds, okay? So, a lot of your questions in section A today, you'll notice, have some measurements on them. Now, I don't want you to confuse these because actually the measurements are just telling you what it's been measured in, okay? So this one's about centimetres. Now, if we cover over the measurements, this question's just asking me 6 times what equals 24, okay? So using our times tables, we did the 4 times table earlier and I remember 24 is 6 times 4, okay? So 6 times 4 equals 24 and it just so happens it's 6 centimetres times 4 equals 24 centimetres. Okay, so the measurements on the end of our numbers today are not really changing anything. We still need you to work out the number sentence. I've got an addition here. 63 millilitres add something equals 563 millilitres. Well, I started with the number 63 and I've ended with the number 563. So I started with 3 ones, 6 tens. I've ended with 3 ones and 6 tens, but now I've got 500 added on. So I'm just looking at those numbers and must have added on 500 millilitres. And if we just think about our measurement, that's measuring capacity millilitres is. So imagine you have got a big jug, an empty jug of water. You have poured 63 millilitres in. You've added 500 millilitres to it. And now you're going to get 563 millilitres. Okay, so this time we're measuring in pence, okay? Now looking at those 2 numbers, I know that that's not going to take me to pounds and pence. But remember, if it was pounds and pence and I was writing it in pounds and pence, if I did column method, I've got £0 in 19p, so I'm going to put my decimal point to separate any pounds I've got and the pence. Now I know these 2 numbers, when I add them together, they're not going to be big enough to give me a pound, okay, but yours might be, so you need to check them properly. I've got 72p that I'm adding, so I'm still going to put my £0 and put my decimal point to separate my pounds and pence. And I'm adding these in column method, one of our other written methods for column addition, starting with the ones 9 pence add 2 pence. Ooh, that's 11 pence. So there's 1. I'm going to carry that 10. 10 pence add 70 pence. Ooh, 70 add 10 is 80. Add another 10 is 90. So I've still got £0. So I can just write my answer as 91 pence. Okay. Right, final question then that you've got similar on your section A. Something pence equals a quarter of 36. Okay, now it doesn't matter which side the equal sign is on. We still need to work out this question. 1/4 of 36 pence. So it's asking me, my denominator is for dividing, how many 4s go into 36 pence. Now we counted in our 4s earlier today. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. That's 9. And my numerator tells me I only want 1 lot because I only want a quarter. So the answer would be 9p. Now if you're struggling to count in your 4s, remember a fraction, so 1/4, that's part of a whole. So we can get our whole pizza and split it into 4 equal parts, and you can share your 36 pennies out equally between those 4 equal parts. But remember, your numerator is only telling you it wants 1 of those parts. So when you've shared out those pennies equally, you only need to count how many is in one of those quarters, okay? Now, last but not least, I have noticed some tricky questions on your Section A Startup Challenge today. So I'm going to go through these with you, so you might want to fill them in before you complete the rest of Section A today. I've got 870 divided by 10. Now, 870, when we're dividing by 10, we're making it 10 times smaller. So I've got my hundreds there, my tens and my ones. When we make it 10 times smaller, each of my digits moves one place to the left, getting smaller. So my 800 will become 80, my 7 tens will become 7 ones, and oh, my 0 has been knocked off the end. So 870 divided by 10 becomes 87. And if you notice, because I've made it 10 times smaller, my 0 has disappeared off the end from 870. Okay? And on Section A, you've also got question 10, where we've got something multiplied by 4 multiplied by 12 equals 96. Well, if I work with the numbers I've got, 4 times 12, I know 4 times 12 is 48. Now I need to multiply 48 by something to get to 96. Now 48 is quite a big number, so I'm going to try and double it first and multiply it by 2. So 48 add 48. Okay, because when we times by 2, we add the number to itself. So 8 add 8, I've got 16. 4 add 4 is 8, add the 1, 10, I have got 96. So I've multiplied here by 2. And if I check it now, check my sentence makes sense. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 12 is 96. Okay. So remember today, Year 3, complete these short multiplication questions in your purple books, and then all you should do is complete Section A. If you really want to, you can have a go at your tough challenge and your intergear section, but it's not an expectation today. So good luck, and I can't wait to see the learning that you get up to.